Hey guys, Brian from BrianMJimenez.com, and I know it's been a minute, but in this new tutorial, I'm going to show you 4 really quick and easy ways to add shadow to your section, to your buttons, to your image, or whatever. It's really cool tricks and ideas that I've used with my own clients, and then you can implement easily using Elementor into your website. So stick around and we'll get started. Currently on WordPress 5.4, if you can see that on the bottom right there, and we have Elementor already installed and activated. So if you do not have this Elementor, please go ahead and install it, activate it, and come back. Once you're ready, we're going to go over to Pages and we're going to click Add New. So just for the purposes of this tutorial, we're going to call this shadow, right? And as my page attributes, I definitely don't want my default template. This is all going to depend on your theme, so just decide which one is going to be better for you. But for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm just going to go for Elementor full width. Now we're going to click Edit with Elementor. Perfect. So for the first section of shadow, right? The most common use, honestly, is for images. So I'm going to grab an image right here, and this is going to be a little big, but that's fine. Let's see. What images do I have here? Let's do something like friends. Oh, and this looks weird. Why is the theme doing this? Alright, so I'm just going to add a section on top of this because this is being weird. Let's push this to the top. And then add a spacer up here. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so for images, it's really cool to add shadow, right? And it gives like that hover effect right on top of that picture. So it's basically your website is right here and your picture is up around here. So it gives that kind of depth, right? So we're gonna go over to the style section, and you can see a box shadow option on the bottom. So when you click that, it immediately adds a horizontal 0 and a vertical 0, 10 points of blur, basically, and no spread. So you can already see a little bit of that, a little bit of that shadow right there. Why are you being so weird? Come on. What is this? I'm gonna reload. Alright, let's do that again. I don't understand why it's being so weird. Alright, so again, over to style, box shadow, and you can, like I said, you can start seeing that shadow right there. And now you can start playing around with these, basically these controls where you're pushing your shadow horizontally to the right, pushing it to the left, right, or pushing it vertically. So basically down and up, right? And you can play around this. When you add this much, vertical and horizontal, it really gives really big depth, which is not the best right now, right? So for 2020, you don't want to have pictures like this. It's just unless your design is specifically for that, right? So for example, I would actually, if I were designing a site that would require some shadow, I would actually give 0, and I would give probably I would say 8. Yeah, that's about right. And then my blur, I don't know, I would toss it to like 12. No, probably more. I would say like 20, and my spread would be like -10. Let's see. I want some more vertical on this one. Oh, let's do, sorry, did the wrong direction. No, yeah, I was right. Yeah, I knew I was right. All right, so let's do like 16, 20, and -10. So you can barely see because of this bar on the bottom. So I'm going to give some padding on the top and on the bottom. There you go. All right, cool. So what you're seeing right now is a very, very soft shadow, but it still gives it that shadow, right? So you barely have any shadow on the top, so it you know, gives that depth perception from top to bottom. And you see a little bit on the sides, and the majority is on the bottom. It still gives that depth, but it's not as strong, right? So that's one of the main uses that I would give shadow to an image. So another example, let's just open up a new section right here, is with buttons, actually. And basically the same dynamic applies to this. So for example, I'm going to go over to, once I add the button widget, I'm going to go to Style, and I'm going to find the box shadow option right here. And I would actually probably do the same. I would say, give me like a let's go for an 8, and then a blur for like let's leave it at 20, and then the spread, take it down to -12. So 11, 20, -12. Let me give it some space here so we can appreciate this with percentages some more. And there you go. So you see that the button has a very low shadow, but it still has a shadow, right? So it gives that nice hover effect, but it's not like very overpowering where you can, it feels like the button is like 50 feet away from the page, and it just highlights and gives that nice design to buttons, so people can actually like, oh, this looks very sleek, modern, and whatnot. Another really interesting example that I have used shadow, it's kind of a little hack that I have specifically with vertical images. I'm going to show you right now. So let me see if I already have a vertical image here. These are all horizontal. Alright, I'm going to use this one. Wow, that's big. So let me just make this 50%. Yeah. Let's see. No, let's give it more. I want it smaller just for the purposes of this. Okay. 30%, right? And so I'm gonna go over to box shadow, right? And you see the picture right here. And I'm actually gonna remove the blur to a 0, and then let's say my theme color is green, right? So I'm actually going to go to the color section right here. I'm going to select green, and then I'm going to start playing around with horizontal and vertical. And this doesn't give the effect that I want just because it's a white image. Maybe if I add a dark background. Yeah, I can add a darker background here. Let me just add a background really quick so it gives like the effect that I want, right? And I'm gonna give some padding so we can visualize what I'm doing here. And so back to, you know, box shadow, I am giving a little bit of padding, a little bit of horizontal and vertical direction to this solid color, so it kind of like creates an image, and it has like a kind of like a block behind it, and it's just, you know, a little cool design style that you can add on that. So even, you know, play around with, let's say 75 and another 75 to just go very geometric right here. And so you have your picture, your main picture, and then you have kind of like a little, you know, that little box in the bottom, and it's just design, right? It's just pure design. It's something really cool that you can just do with your, you know, with your shadow effect. Because you know, usually you would try to get, okay, let me make another picture and just put them on top of each other, you know, and it can get a little messy. With that, you can just, you know, it's very simple, it's very quick to do. Awesome. So the last example that I'm going to use right now, it's going to be, for example, for a header, right? So let's say this is, I'm actually have to do 2 sections for this. So the bottom section, I'm going to make it, now I'm going to make this minimum height 400, and then this section on the top, right? So this section, would be content. The bottom one would be the content of the site, and this would be kind of like your hero section. Let's put it that way. All right, so this one I'm going to make it fit to screen, and then I'm going to add a background to this as an image. I'm going to use this right here. Yeah, it's fine the way it is. So basically, I have my hero section, right, and I want to give a little bit of shadow to my content, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to this section, right? I'm already there. And I'm going to go over to the border section, right? Because we want to concentrate on that shadow. So there is a box shadow option for this whole section. So basically I can add a shadow to a column, to a section, to a widget, pretty much anything, honestly. It really just depends. So we're going to go to the box section, and we're going to click right here, and you can see automatically you already have a little, you know, a little shadow, which is very, very faint. So let's give it a little bit more, you know, character, a little bit more depth. So let's do a little bit more vertical. With this one, you really don't have to do horizontal, just because this is already a full width section, right? And my template is full width. So for this layout and this design specifically, I do not have to touch horizontal, right? Because I'm only adding shadow to the bottom of the section. So by just going, you know, like 5, I already see this a lot stronger, and honestly, this is not terrible. I would probably give it a little bit more blur to make it softer. Go for 20, and see, that's nice. So that basically gives the effect that your content is right here and your hero section is kind of like on the top. Or honestly, you can do this with any section. I'm just giving the most common example, which is the hero section, right? But basically it kind of like gives that depth, right, between your page and this section right here. It just amplifies it out. So there you have it. You know, you have 4 examples of really cool ideas that you can use shadow with, right? So images, buttons, solid shadows, right? It's kind of like a trig effect, and then for your whole section. Cool. So if you love this tutorial, I would love to hear from you. If you have any questions, please let me know on the bottom comments in the bottom below. Also subscribe for more videos like this, and you know, follow me on every social media that I have. I have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and check out my website too, brianmjimenez.com. Let me know how can I best help you. I mean, if you have any specific questions, or you want me to create a specific video about, I don't know, I have this problem with so and so, how can I fix it? Let me know, and I'll do my best to create a video for you. See you on the next one.